Welcome to the Global Exclusive Podcast. Today we're on episode 44 of this fantastic world's best podcast.
I don't think we can call it that. I really don't think we can call it that.
Led by the most handsome hosts and most attractive members of the podcast community in the world.
How about this? I think I know what we can say. We can say this is the best FFBE podcast hosted by these five specific people.
That's true.
Okay,
that's
but
true.
You're narrowing it down too much. We got to be a bit more aggressive here, Muspel. Our goal is to be the next Joe Rogan.
I'm just not comfortable lying to our listeners.
Yeah, and my legal counsel is telling me to advise everyone that Shadow's opinions are his own and only his own and do not reflect the opinions of the other hosts on this podcast.
Shall we move on?
Yes, okay, but onto the actual banner. This week we have the illustrious Kingdom Hearts banner that is draining everyone's wallets dry in the middle of a global pandemic.
Well, not everyone's.
No,
Oh, really?
not everyone's.
Oh, okay, Somebody's got lucky. Somebody got lucky.
Somebody didn't pull at all.
I mean, okay, so I'm gonna be honest here. These units, I know of them from months ago when they first released in JP. I took a glance at their kits, but I don't remember much of it. And I think in the order that we have right now, Kyrie's first up, and I don't know who's going to explain Kyrie to us. But
I
what's
can
Kyrie
introduce
about?
Kyrie. I'm going to try to be very positive this week and only talk about good things. So Kyrie,
This is impossible.
Muspel,
This is
being positive.
okay. I need to see this. I need to hear this.
Kyrie is the third best unit on this banner. She beats out more than half the units that are featured from Kingdom Hearts. And she heals for more than Dr. Iden, who is one of the best healers in the game.
I mean, Muspel's opinions are only Muspel's and do not reflect the opinions of the other hosts.
Yeah, that's about all I can say about her without going into anything negative.
All right, let me shoot in. Because first, wow, did anyone notice her animation is literally the smoothest one? Like her attack animation is like the smoothest one we have in the game. I don't know, like I don't have any data if we look at like the amount of frames, but if you tap her and she does her little twirly thing with her keyblade. Okay. I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game.
Somebody didn't play Kingdom Hearts?
No, I never played Kingdom Hearts. But like it's actually super smooth. It looks really, really good. I was surprised because like you tap the other units, they look normal, like normal attack animations.
It's unfortunate that all of the Kingdom Hearts unit sprites look terrible because they all have like a fucking black hole around them.
Yeah.
It's worse than like the Chair Kings that we got, where they were just sitting in chairs the whole battle.
What's with these black holes? Is there a reason for them?
Yeah, they are coming from a different world, kind of.
Wait, seriously? That's the reason?
They're bubble boys.
I think
I would imagine it's a thing that happens at one point in Kingdom Hearts. I don't know. I never played a Kingdom Hearts game, and I don't plan to. So
I only played up to Kingdom Hearts 2, so I never played 3. If this is a thing in 3, it's news to me.
Well,
Okay, so who? Let's be honest. Who here has actually played Kingdom Hearts and is actually still playing the game? Sorry, Shadow, you don't count.
who has? Yeah, I have
Literally
not
no
played
one.
a single one.
Exactly no one.
well, I take that back. I played the GBA game, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories or something. I did not
Oh, that was
understand
fun.
the damn thing that was going on.
Yeah, but the collectible card aspect was a lot of fun in that game.
It was okay,
I just
yeah.
I just can't take that seriously. I can't watch Donald Duck casting fucking Meteor. Okay, I just like there's something in my heart that breaks when I think about that. So I just can't. Like it's like
There is a side of me that wants to play Kingdom Hearts 3, but every time I pick up the controller to play it, I feel like no, maybe I shouldn't waste 40 hours to be disappointed. So,
But also, isn't Kingdom Hearts 3 generally considered not as good as the previous ones, right?
I think it's
Or-
because of the ending, right?
Every
I don't-
single person I've ever heard talk about the Kingdom Hearts games has like listed so many major problems with them that I'm not convinced that any of them are good.
Oh, but I have the opposite
just like
experience.
Stockholm
Anytime
syndrome.
people talk about Kingdom Hearts 3, they keep saying stuff like, you need to play Kingdom Hearts. It's so good. Or not Kingdom Hearts 3, sorry, but like the Kingdom Hearts games in general. That's weird. Anyway, maybe we should move back,
Kyrie.
to the banner. So okay, Muspel, you're not doing her justice because I do think. I mean, she has two things that I think are worth mentioning. First one is she actually heals and chains at the same time, meaning that she can actually do some nice roll compression. Of course, it's not the most efficient thing in the world, although, you put a Kairi and a Riku together with two Tifas and you got a stew. A damage stew. And it works well.
Lovely.
The other thing she actually has...
Isn't it Ibarra?
Yeah, sure, or Ibarra. You can do Ibarra too if you want. Whatever, anything that hits hard. And because it's nice, like
either at this point.
But she has also another thing that I do want to mention. In her Brave Shield, she has a pretty strong light. What do we call these abilities that make your light attack stronger?
I've been
Light
calling them
amp?
amps.
Yeah.
Amps. Okay, amps. Yeah, that's a great word. I think I've seen that before. Yeah. Yeah, so she has a strong light amp. It's like 25%. So that's going to be really good for any light stages in DV in general. And I'm just going to be honest, I really look forward to using her together with Riku because like the two of them together do healer, chainer, and breaker into two slots. So you have a lot of freedom gearing your team after that. So I'm looking forward to trying that out.
Well,
The problem
it seems
is that her healing kit is kind of lacking. She has healing and ailment resist and AoE re-raise, and that's basically it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're expecting more from your healers, you definitely can't bring Kairi. But if it's one of those fights where you literally just need healing and or ailment resistances,
but even then, she's not adding a whole lot of damage. She doesn't hit that hard.
I mean, well, okay. I guess if you assume she's healing, she's hitting even less hard, but she's still hitting NVA damage levels, which is, I mean, that's stronger than what your, that's stronger than what your Aiden does. So
I feel like anybody that has the resources to pull on a limited banner like this probably already has a better damage dealer.
yeah, sure. But I mean, it's not about having a better damage dealer. It's about your healer dishing out, NVA damage levels.
I mean, she's not terrible, but she's easily the worst NV on this banner. I do want to say,
I agree.
Doesn't really like her.
I really do like her STMR. It's not great for like dark visions, but in terms of just general utility, it does a lot of stuff and it does it really well. 7 autofill on a materia plus 70% attack and 70% SP spirit and MP regeneration and even dark resist.
So pull for
It's pretty
STMR.
stacked.
Got it.
No. If you shitter her randomly like Bharos keeps
Yeah.
mentioning that he has done, maybe consider getting her STMR.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I agree with everyone about she's not the most exciting unit on the banner. If I wanted to pull on this banner, I would obviously not be pulling for Kairi. But as someone that randomly pulled her off a EX ticket, I am really looking forward to using her because I still think she's a very interesting unit. You know me, like I like interesting units a lot more than huge damage and just nothing else. So I like that. That's a design I want to promote more. Like, they should do more of these units.
One thing to mention is that her Brave Shift LB actually has a decent modifier, and she has a 250% LB damage buff and good passives for it. The problem is that she can't use the LB damage buff until turn 3, and she has to like spend a few turns setting up just to fill the LB gauge, so it doesn't necessarily work out the way you want, and the fact that you can't LB get the buff until turn 4 at the earliest it kind of kills her usefulness in dark visions.
Yeah,
plus
but
the
even
frames
then,
are just really bad.
yeah, but even then, like there are other things that make Tifa great because she's already at the 75% of Tifa's mod, so she's already like a lot lower than Tifa to begin with, even though she has that very nice boost.
Yeah, but she has slightly better weapon selection. She can use some of the scoring weapons and stuff.
Yeah, okay, true, that's true. She would probably have a bit easier to gear for killers and maybe even LB damage without using materials.
She is TDH favored though.
Yeah,
so that's not so great for weapons.
Oh
For some
shit!
reason,
Yeah,
for some reason I forgot and was
completely
thinking she was TDW for a second.
Yeah. Anyway,
I mean,
it's,
going back to the
I am
healer
more interested in her
discussion-
not as a DV unit, but as something that you bring to trials to make some fun comps happen. That's basically my approach.
She's also pretty bulky as a damage dealer, just because she's got a bunch of spirit passives.
I mean,
But-
going back to the healer discussion, like, I don't think that her healer kit should be taking a knock against her, because so far, in terms of NV healers that we have, they all have similar basic kits. Like, so we haven't had an NV healer who has a full comprehensive healer kit yet.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely one of the top 2 healers that are NV, I guess.
Wow, it's almost as if there aren't any NV healers
Yeah.
around, huh?
Wait, how many
The
do we
thing
have?
is, there's no need to just compare to NV ones though,
Yeah.
but also like there's Summer Fulgur and Citra as well as a
Oh
third
yeah,
one.
true.
Fultra, Aerith, and if you can maybe count Fid too, if you really want to stretch. But
Yeah. I guess if you count Fid, she would be third best NV healer out of 4.
no, fourth best, I think. If you're talking
I
about
think we
healing,
should talk about a little.
I mean,
more interesting
Aerith
unit,
is
though.
better at healing than Fid. She's just a worse unit.
Okay, but Muspel.
Yeah, I was putting Fid in 4th place for
Okay, but
healing.
Muspel, we should stop grasping at straws for Kyrie. So
Yeah, let's, good point. Let's move on to a little bit more interesting unit, Sora. Who wants to do Sora? Dream, do you want to do Sora?
I think
No,
I'll let
I would
Dream
like
do
to
Sora.
talk about Sora's kit.
Okay, good.
Oh, okay.
I'll let Dream do it, because if I do it, I'm just going to say he does damage.
Oh, wait.
Big
I would
damage.
like to see
Full
Cotton
stop.
and, Cotton and Dream fight over who gets to do Sora. Can we do this?
no,
No, Bharos, no!
No,
So
Bharos,
to talk
no.
about Sora's kit, it's ironic you said he was a bit more interesting when he is exactly what you described before as like the boring units you don't like.
I mean, more interesting for DV purposes, okay?
Yeah. Sora is probably the strongest unit on this banner, at least for damage, and because his Brave Shift Limit Burst with all its setup is got really high mod. You know, he has all the setup for it that Tifa does, including like light amp now as well, 15% for it, and that does basically the new highest burst unless you count like Ibarra with an external limit buff and STMRs and, a massage therapist.
but what about a happy ending?
Yeah, and I don't think Ibarra needs one.
I mean, everyone needs a happy ending at some point in their life, right? I think so. Also, technically, like, as Muspel, I now need to feel... I feel the need to be the mage hater right now and say that, as Muspel usually says, I mean, he's probably going to outperform her most times anyway due to killer availability, right?
Potentially.
I mean, even apart from that, I think she would still beat him, right?
Wait, Muspel is advocating for mage. What
just
the
happened?
heck, man?
No, I'm saying, like, even if you ignore Ibarra being a mage, even if she had the same killer scaling, doesn't he still burst harder than her? Or are we talking about
not-
sustained damage?
Well, no, this is just Ibarra with external support. Like, I'm pretty sure with, like, the really good gear and the support, she can get over 1 trillion. I mean, they're probably about the same on, like, pre-killer maximum burst.
Over 1 trillion.
But, but
Welcome.
yeah, and, like, those, like, they carry his average as well, so he basically will rule the physical side of things, at least for probably about a month.
Yeah, he bursts nearly twice as hard as Tifa.
Which is bizarre, right? Just think about that. Twice as hard as Tifa.
I
And
mean,
I think there was someone
with
in the
Wiki
Wiki
at
Ratings channel that also said that even in a month or two, or however far away we are from JP, he's still going to be one of the stronger units in the game, despite the huge power creep we know.
yeah,
we're
he'll
about
still
to
be
get.
solid for a while.
There are...
I would say, I'd say he's more like 1.5 times Tifa under most circumstances. Once you give Tifa like a better card and thing than she uses in the wiki parameters.
Oh yeah, that's true. There are some problems with Sora I want to point out. First off, his LB, which is where almost all of his damage comes from, is light locked. So if the boss is immune to light, you're in trouble. He's not going to be that good on non-light dark vision stages. Like, he'll probably still be worth using just because of how high his damage is, but he's not going to be... He's probably going to be like somewhere in between Eileen and Tifa, I would imagine, or maybe just around Tifa. Also, he doesn't have a good way to fill his LB very quickly like Tifa does, so you'll have to rely more on gearing or stuff like that. But his Brave Shift costs 46 crystals, so that's harder to do than Tifa, because hers only costs, what, like 20?
Yeah. He's got some chains that fill a decent amount, but with, like, you're using a bunch of different moves for all the setup of the limit buff and the light buff and stuff.
Yeah.
So it can be, like, hard to fit enough of those in.
Yeah.
But usually you can get it pretty reliably. Like, I think generally you'll want his first burst to be on turn 3, but then after that it's every 5 turns that he can actually Brave Shift back and use it again with the setup.
I also want to mention that...
So he's a bit less frequent than Tifa as well, in a more longer fight.
More longer? You mean longer?
Yeah.
So,
I was about to say more sustained, but...
When I saw Sora's kit, I was really like, hey, this is a unit that's obviously designed to kind of really maximize you being able to deliver everything for the unit to maximize their potential, which I think is pretty cool. Like, it's all about, you know, being able to fill the LB while setting up, while enabling this huge burst, and maybe even having support chainers if it's a trial or, you know, DD. I kind of like that. I kind of like that it's very not straightforward to use. Is that a good way to describe it? Maybe?
I don't think he's very straightforward.
Yeah, but it just requires you to do stuff to actually fill the LB and to make sure you can burst on that turn that it's happening on.
Getting it filled on turn 3 isn't that unreasonable. It's mostly that Tifa can pretty reliably burst on turn 2. Sora would need a fair amount of help to do that, probably. But after that, his LB is not a problem after the first burst on turn 3, because he has 5 turns to charge it up.
Cool.
Right. So
but-
does he have anything else that we want to talk about, or are we just happy by saying that this is an incredibly strong unit that the whales are going to be using to getting that rank 1 spot in DV for several DVs to come?
We should maybe
And
mention his
They'll be
STMR.
using... I was going to say, they'll be using his STMR to get rank 1 for a couple of years, at least.
Couple years.
Maybe not that long. I'm not sure that STMRs last that long, but...
I mean, it's really
I'm
good.
not sure the game
so
lasts that long, but...
Yeah, his STMR is 80% attack and 75% LB damage, which is very strong.
it's so stupid.
It's
strong.
still one of those things where it's not going to be as big a damage difference as you might think, just because damage gear tends to not be as impactful as you would imagine at first glance, but it's still clearly best in slot for basically any LB damage dealer, especially a physical one.
I mean, it's just
Actually,
stupid
I've got
strong.
a question.
What's your question?
Yeah, I've got a question for Shadow.
Oh.
Like, lore-wise, is there a reason why he has 150% human killer on his Brave Shift form?
Sora?
Yeah. Shadow, you're the only one here who played Kingdom Hearts.
I mean,
Okay,
the skill's called Hidden Potential, so I guess he has the potential to be a mass murderer.
Yeah, that's actually pretty weird. Like, I guess, like, he kills units or stuff that is humanoid in Kingdom Hearts 3. Maybe they are the
Yeah,
final enemies.
I mean, Cloud has human killer. You wouldn't really think of him as the kind of person who...
I mean, but if you think about the
Killed a
number
lot
of
of people,
bodies
but-
that Cloud left behind in FF7, that makes sense. Like, how many...
Yeah, but Sora also fights a lot of people, right?
Well, the thing about
Like, I-
Sora is that, or at least in the Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, you fight Heartless and nobodies. You don't fight humans, per se. But technically,
Maybe that changes in
Amorphous
3.
dark blob creatures, right?
Yeah, those are those blob creatures. Technically, Heartless are humans that lost their hearts. Therefore, I guess he has human killers for that. But it'd be more like undead killers,
Well,
I think, if it was...
He has Spirit Killer in his Brave Shift. No,
Okay,
sorry,
does
I'm
that
not
make
thinking of
sense?
Riku. Sorry. No,
Oh.
Riku has Fairy Killer.
So Sora is a mass murderer here.
Yeah, Sora's the mass murderer. I don't know what's
Ma-
going on there.
Maybe he fights people
Well-
in Kingdom Hearts 3 instead of Heartless. I don't know.
Well, I think Because Sora has fairy in his base form and human in his brave shift, and I think Riku's the reverse.
Yeah, this is
Yes.
the type of content people sign up for, by the way.
What's up with all these killers?
Someone has got to ask these questions, okay?
Or that's definitely an envy thing nowadays. Like all units really have killers in both forms and have this specialty. So it's like, you know, going beyond the meta, or sorry, not meta, going beyond the lore. It's definitely an envy design thing. So might not have to do that much with the game either.
Okay, so we can probably talk about Riku now, right?
Yes, let's talk about Riku.
Maybe,
Who wants to
maybe
do
not.
Riku?
Riku is basically a twist on Lauren's kit. He does more damage than her, but he's worse at breaking.
He does a lot more
And,
damage than her. You're underselling it.
Well, a fair bit more.
He does like 30 or 40% more.
He can do, like, that can spike up a fair bit if you give support chains for his limit burst, like, whichever one you build for. Because, like, the basic one is 8 hits and evenly damage distributed, so it doesn't have a great chain mod. And the Brave Shift one is 12 hits but breaks in the middle, so also has a bad chain mod. So either one will benefit from support chains if you want to use them.
He also can burst pretty hard with his LB as well. That's pretty nice. And one thing I want to mention about him that I think is super relevant to his kit in the game is that a fucking car key he has in his hand? Because, like, all the other Kingdom Hearts units have these charming, romantic keys. Like, Sora looks like he's holding a key to an old outdoor bathroom from, like, the Middle Ages, right? And Kairi, I don't know what the fuck she's holding. She's holding some type of fairy key bullshit. And then Riku comes in.
Riku's looks like
But-
a chainsaw.
What? Chainsaw?
But
Kind
No,
of.
it's a
But
car key.
I need to
It's
ask
like it's like
something.
this modern key with these, like, instead of the what do you call them, the teeth?
It looks like a chainsaw where they took off the chain, and you're just left with like the frame.
I do see it.
No, but it's like it's so
Okay,
silly
Bharos,
looking.
It's be-
I also see what Bharos is saying, though.
Either way, it's because he's hip and edgy.
So dark and edgy, and he has a car key. I still don't get it.
I feel like
It's
I feel like
modern.
at this point I need
Uh,
to,
I feel like the big question here is like, why does Bharos think of a medieval toilet when looking at Sora's key?
okay
Because
that-
it looks
that's-
like this, old key. Come on. Everyone
no,
knows.
no, that makes
Cut.
sense because Kira's looks like Sora's looks like a really like old general key, but like Riku's look like a modern key. You know those modern keys that you get for like storage houses that they give you. With,
Oh
like,
yeah,
no...
yes.
Yeah,
or
but-
like modern lockers. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
That's it.
But I just need to bring this up.
Yeah, but
if
medieval
if you
toilet.
look at Riku right now and look at Sora, you can see Nomura's obsession with chains everywhere, and belts too. Just thought that I'd point this out. I thought it was
I mean,
important.
he never left the '90s when that was actually really, really popular.
Are you saying that Nomura is Japan's version of Rob Liefeld?
Huh? I don't even know who that is. I think I'm missing a
That's great
cultural
for all
reference.
those. Yeah, that's great for all those people that know who.
Oh
that
my
is.
God.
Rob Liefeld is a comic book artist who made like Cable and
He drew
a
Deadpool,
bunch
I
of
think.
other ridiculous '90s characters.
And do they have a lot of
Just like
chains and belts?
imagine a '90s comic book cover with a very large man screaming. He's very veiny, and you can't see his feet, and he's covered in guns and belts and pouches everywhere.
Yeah.
Oof.
But he can't draw
Oof.
feet. Rob Liefeld can't draw feet.
So an American.
So
So, Cotton, have you let go of the medieval toilet thing yet?
No, this is something we shall pick up another
No.
time, okay? Just before
Cotton.
time.
She will take it to her
Cotton,
grave.
we are not going to go on a deep dive through Barros' brain to try to figure out how he thinks. We've been here before. We know how it
wait,
ends.
we've been here before
We have?
without me.
When
You
did that
managed
happen?
to forget about it already?
Oh,
With
wait.
that, like, self-defense?
While you're all going on a tangent, I'm gonna be the person corralling us back, because there's one thing I want to say about Riku's kit, which is that he has this design. Well, most MVs have, I guess, but he has this design where he is. If you want to do serious damage in his Brave Shift, you're doing it while being dark locked. So that kind of lowers his usability as a pure damage dealer, which is a bit of a shame. And he can't break in his Brave Shift either, so if you're using him to break, you're probably never leaving his base form.
We should probably also mention his TM, STMR, and Vision card, which are all good.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
vision card's amazing.
I think Dream said it, that he's like the best pickup gear-wise. Like, if you get him randomly, you're getting some amazing stuff.
Yeah, so his card has the highest flat attack of any card, and then it also has 80% if you're using a sword, which is pretty reasonable because there's some good swords out there, especially if you look at STMRs. His STMR.
Wait, did you
is
say 80% with
attack.
a sword? Yeah, but you forgot to say the most important
Yes.
thing. He has 50% LB damage.
That's only for Kingdom Hearts units.
4 Kingdom Hearts
Oh
units.
no! I was more excited than I should have been for this. Oh.
Yeah. Sad times. Anyways, his STMR is 80% attack, and then it has 100% TDH and true dual wield. So, for dual wield, that's half of that is probably going to be wasted. For TDH, it's maybe the best TDH material we've gotten. It's either this or Cloud's STMR. They're both way up there, but yeah, it's good. And then his TM is kind of like an upgraded version of Stormkickers, but without the HP.
I really
So,
loved
yeah.
hearing Bharos' deflation in his voice. So that was
Yeah, no,
that was-
I'm still shaking.
I guess that's what happens when you shitter the units instead of like looking them up beforehand and deciding
Yeah,
to pull for
yeah.
them.
Well, I mean, it's like just as a segue, or not as a segue, as a side note, I was incredibly lucky. Like, I shared both Riku and Kairi on random pulls, so that was so weird. Also, did you see like the animation of his VC? Like he seems to be like bashing a huge shadow penis.
No, Bharos, no.
Cotton, you had something to say that was not related to that
Yes,
in any way?
there is one thing I think we haven't mentioned yet. In Riku's Brave Shift form, he actually absorbs dark damage.
With
So
his
that
trust,
could be something
with his
used.
trust passive.
Yeah, so that is something that could be
Which
useful
will
for certain fights. No, or something that Shinzai uses to do some bullshit.
Yeah, I wonder, like, could you use him to solo like Dark Espers or some shit like that? Like, if you do this weird strat.
No, his Brave Shift isn't permanent.
No, his Brave Shift only lasts.
Yeah, he has to drop at least
unfortunately.
a turn.
Okay.
Also, I think, don't they, like, do stuff that would kill you anyways?
Yeah, I think you'd need at the very least like evade and earth resist from Golem, and then there would be like zombie and charm to deal with and stuff. I don't know. There would probably be something that would prevent it.
Yeah. I was just thinking, because people did some nice stuff with Esther back in the day with her lightning immunity. I thought maybe you could do the same here. But yeah, his Brave Shift being limited is the worst for it, of course.
But there's one more Kingdom Hearts unit for us to talk
Yes.
No, there
about.
isn't.
I mean,
There is?
technically there's like 5 more, but we're not going to care about 4 of them. Young Xehanort. Am I
Xehanort?
pronouncing that right?
It's Xehanort or Xehanort. I've heard both, but I think it's Xehanort. Like, that's what the game pronounces it.
Young ZZ.
C card?
Let's just go Young ZZ.
Young xenophobe.
All right, so tell us about Nicki Minaj.
So his TM is like an event item basically, and his STMR is a slightly better event item,
And he's free.
and that's
That's all you have to say,
yeah,
Muspel?
and he's free.
He's free in 7-star damage. I mean, his STMR is basically, I think, a slight downgrade. Other than the stop immunity, which is actually like pretty interesting on a piece of kit. We don't get that very much. And other than that, it's like a slight downgrade of X2 Unis TMR.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
attack, line, dark resist. It might be slotted in sometimes.
I'm not really a fan of stop on gear. I feel like 90% of the time, if stop is hitting a damage dealer, it's hitting the whole team. And if it's hitting the whole team, you want an AoE resist buff, not to individually gear 6 units for it.
Yeah. So listen, let's stop
if,
making...
like, you could put it on a provoker, like, just for the
I
stop
guess.
resist. That can still be.
But just like stop making him sound good. Also, as a side note, to just show you how creep is going, remember that unit that got released like about 2-3 years ago? Hyo? So his clothes were considered really, really strong back then, like high attack with 30% attack with a greatsword. Thing is, this dude's TMR is literally that version, but with any weapon. And it's what Muspel said, it's an event item. And that's a shame.
Is it a shame or is it a good thing?
I'm a bit sad about it because, like this free unit is now eclipsing. I am at a point where I feel that if you pull a random EX ticket Jiraiya, right? Because I did that yesterday. So you pull a Jiraiya, and it was also my 11th Jiraiya, so that sucked extra hard. And then you think like, oh, at least I got a good TMR. That's what you want to think, right? That's what you want to be like, oh, I got this nice specific killer TMR or this nice piece of clothing. But many old units, many 5-star units, they're crept by event items, and it's like you just get nothing out of them.
Actually, there is a little bit of good news about that from the JP front. So apparently JP might be starting to buff certain units TMRs, like, Genji Glove, the old crappy dual wield stuff. It's getting buffed to being a 40 flat attack magic plus 40% attack magic TMR.
Just like that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they're just straight up buffing it without
Interesting.
any enhancements or anything. So I think,
I mean, it's because he's getting an MVA.
I mean, at the same time,
Oh,
haven't
so it
done
is
that
tied to his
before,
NVA. Okay,
Yeah.
I was here almost hopeful that they're going to be going over like old Rainbow TMRs and just making them more meta. Because that would be really cool.
Yeah, it'd be cool to do just like sweeping changes, but at least like if it continues happening with NVAs, that would
Yeah,
be
true,
a nice change.
True. True.
Could you imagine if they buffed Delita's STMR so they did more damage to you?
Yes. Although, it could come to a point where it could be useful. Like, what if it did 99% of your HP? Because then it would like be triggering all of these effects for many units. So then it could actually be good.
Yeah, but every turn, Bharos.
And then Nexus would have an even better thing to
Unfortunately-
put on a unit when he's trolling the shit out of everyone.
Unfortunately, there will never be a tactics banner
Yeah.
for this to happen.
yikes.
True. True. Rest in peace, Hazard. We
Yikes.
miss you.
Unfortunately,
Mwah.
poor Hazard won't come back. Poor Hazard.
Yeah. All right, so we said enough about
taking
this
a long time
bullshit
to get
unit,
those
right?
cigarettes.
Let's move on to something
Yeah.
that Dream really wanted to talk about and was super passionate about, which is the ability awakenings of the other Kingdom Hearts units. Dream, tell us what happened.
So about for 2 minutes for about how much of a waste of time they are. They got mods that are like about the same as what Physical was doing near the end of the 7-star
Near the
era,
end?
and it has
Nice.
progressed exactly nowhere.
Oh, so it's kind of the Dragon
I mean-
Quest treatment where, they are kind of meta now?
Yeah.
They are just as meta
I mean,
as the Dragon
the-
Quest
Yeah.
games. Probably. I don't know. I haven't calculated
I
the
mean, they
damage.
did actually get put to near the top of the 7-star damage dealers,
Near the top.
which is
That
something.
is a thing.
Yeah.
Wait,
I mean,
near the top, not the top? They're not even on the
I
top.
don't think so,
It-
or at least not for 3 of
If
them.
they're only near the top, doesn't that mean that they only deal like 20 billion? How much does 2B deal again?
No, they should. Like, I've really rough estimates just based on their modifiers. They're probably like hovering somewhere around Odin Reagan for 3 of them at least. The old Riku is like slightly better technically. His like maximum mod he can output is almost at like the bottom end of the NVAs. it's bad.
I can hear Dream just dying inside for even having to talk about them for a bit like this.
This is why I said we shouldn't even mention it because they're
Basically.
not worth it. But
Yeah,
There we
yeah.
are.
I agree. Shadow, I agree. Let's move the fuck
I
on.
want to make sure everyone knows
Yeah,
they're
true,
not
true.
worth
We're
it.
advising viewers to not pull on this banner for the old units, especially not for Cloud, because you couldn't even pull Cloud.
I mean, don't even spend crests if
Yeah.
you already know them. I mean, Kingdom Hearts Cloud wasn't even affected.
Like, what about their TMRs or STMRs? Are they like still worth it, or like it's a big nope?
the Kingdom Hearts Cloud's TR is barely worth
I mean,
it. But I think
Sora and Riku's STMRs are okay by STMR standards. The others are
they're barely
not,
like
not.
TMR levels by this point.
I mean, they're better than TMs, but the problem is that Cloud's
They're not
Cloud's
impactful.
STMR is a two-handed greatsword, and even though it has high attack, you don't want to use a weapon with 1.3x variance. And then Sephiroth's STMR is a two-handed katana, and same thing. So, not really a good spot to be in.
It's almost as if two-handed swords and two-handed katanas have structural issues in comparison with throwing weapons or bows. So, I wonder if they'll ever resolve that.
Thanks, variance
Yeah.
mechanics.
I mean, you wouldn't want to get up close to whack something where you can just throw something or shoot something at things from far, I guess? I don't know.
I'm
It's
sure
one of
that's
those
Elm's
things.
reasoning. I'm sure that they're really putting a whole lot of thought.
Yeah,
into this
yeah.
and design
FFBE is
things.
really designed with a lot of thought behind it. This has been proven many times. So yeah.
One thing we should probably talk about, though, is that this is the first banner we've seen where they give us enough fragments to get the units to EX plus 1 for free.
Oof,
In
yes.
fact, they give us twice as many as we need.
Yeah.
That is actually a fantastic thing to talk about. Thank you for bringing that up, Muspel. I completely forgot. Wow, this is a great trend, right? If this continues like for limited banners, that would be
Well,
fantastic.
It's just
if
for the
it's a
collab.
trend, then it's good. We'll have to see if they keep doing it.
No, they did specifically say it is not continuing. The 30-20 is the trend that
It's
will
a
continue.
limited time unit thing, I think.
They,
In Kingdom Hearts, that's
Yeah,
a time.
but did
Yeah,
JP
it's 'cause
have
it's
any
collab.
more limited banners after this, where this happened again, or?
Bharos, JP is a different game.
Yeah, no, because I'm gonna say I was not expecting this to happen for every banner. I was definitely thinking the 70 or wait, what are we getting? We are getting 100, right, for every unit.
Assuming you buy the 50 from the Mog.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're getting 100 for every unit. I was definitely thinking, yes, this is only for limited units, but I was hoping that it would happen for every limited banner going forward.
I'm not sure if JP's actually had
Okay.
another one yet.
Not to my knowledge, no.
I mean, I want to say this. This is why, because I accidentally pulled Kyrie, right? That was my first random shit ring.
You
of this
never
banner.
told us before.
So I also accidentally pulled Riku. I'm just saying. Anyway, I pulled her.
Yes,
And then I was
Bharos.
thinking, oh no, shit! Do I have to buy a Lapis now to get her EX plus 1? And then I was looking at her kit, and I'm like, this is not worth it. This is not worth it. And then I'm whining about this. And then I was whining about this, and then someone told me like, hey, no, you're gonna get 100 for free. And I wait, what? And that brought back the joy for me. And then when I got Riku as well, I was so happy because I actually got a full unit just randomly. It was a Christmas present. It was back to the 6-star meta. It was beautiful. So I hope this happens again. That's what I'm trying to say.
But now you just need to spend 5k Lapis for the rest of your months.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Oh no, we are 5k Lapis. The thing is, we have the upcoming Shart Dungeons. Shart Dungeons. So if you are patient,
The what dungeons?
Dream use.
I'm just going to ignore Dream and pretend he didn't say anything.
Is that what you call your room, Dream?
The sh-
All right, calm down. We need to get back to the episode.
Guys, we're professionals. We're professionals.
Yes, we get paid for this. Stop laughing at Dream's room being the Shart Dungeon.
I mean, I didn't say anything.
But yes, thank you, Cotton. That's a nice segue into the Fragment Dungeon, or Fragment Shard. I don't know what the correct term is. Shard? Fragment? Fragment, okay.
They're officially called fragments.
Maybe it's
Yeah,
better to
because
go
now
with
like
Fragment
Shard
Dungeon.
is forever ruined in my mind. So yeah, we're actually getting a weird version of JP's dungeon. How does it work? Cotton, can you tell us?
Okay, so I haven't actually been doing much in the game lately, so I've barely been catching up. But yes, I will try my best.
Would you like one of us to instead?
Yes,
will tag
it might
in.
be best. Yes. So from my understanding, it is it is not a permanent thing. We get it for 2 weeks at a time, but it will come regularly, or so they claim. You bring up to 5 different unique NV or NVA units. For each unique NV or NVA unit that you bring in the team, you get 5 shards or fragments of whatever the heck you're going to call it, and this is a daily thing. So if you bring the same unit, the event lasts 14 days per each time it shows up, and if my max is right at 7 a.m. in the morning,
68.
if you bring the
68
same
fragments.
unit every day, you get what, 70?
Thanks, Bharos.
70 fragments. Damn it, Bharos.
Yeah, they said they're going to run it every 2 to 3 months. We'll have to see if that holds true. They've said in the past that they would rerun certain things and haven't, like the thing where you could trade UOCs for lapis.
Oh wait, they said
which
this
I
like
think
wait,
we
they
have
said
promised
2
to
to 3
rerun that?
months? That's what they said? Oh.
Yeah. Every 2.
Yes.
I
And,
was
like, it really
hoping it was
needs
going to
to,
run
but-
every month. I mean,
Like-
2 to 3 months. Ugh.
I mean, every 2 months, that means we're getting, on average, 350
It's
fragments
350
per
per
run of the
run.
dungeon.
Yeah, I mean,
So that's
Probably
even if it's every 3
if
months.
it was 2 months.
That's
True,
still
okay.
4 fragments per day.
But I
JP
think-
only gets 1 or 2 per day on average.
Yeah. Well, I think you can re-roll like the JP dungeon, and supposedly, like if you do that a bit for decent rolls, you get between like 110 to 140 average per month. So if it is 2 to 3 months, the average per month should be about the same. But ours is much less hassle to run, doesn't have to do dumb give-up re-rolling, and doesn't have RNG involved. So as long as it is like run normally,
but
In my
there's
books,
a
it's a
big
win.
problem here. Okay, if it's every 2 to 3 months, it means that the random happy NVA you got from an EX ticket or whatever is not going to be lasting you for a long time. Because, sorry, that's entirely said in the wrong way. What I mean is, if it takes 2 months, that unit has been crept and there is literally no joy left. Unless it's like a healer or a tank, then they're always valuable. But see what I mean? Like, at least in JP, you could get the EX plus 1 within a reasonable time frame to actually use this unit. But here you can actually get... Sorry?
well, on JP on JP you can get the EX plus 1 from the login rewards in the event.
Yeah.
So that
True.
would be nice
Yes,
to get.
yes. I mean, if we get that, then I don't care. Then I am a happy camper. Then literally all my dreams come true, because then pulling an NV is the best feeling in the world. But
I mean, we have a dream
No,
here already,
it
Bharos.
is, it
Is that
is.
not enough
Oh.
for you?
Am
I just
not
want
good
more
enough?
of dream, you know, like
But, I mean, if you do want,
Cutting off that train of thought.
if you do want the like instant gratification EX plus 1, there will also be the option. They're like adding a direct like
yeah, I
lapis
saw that.
shard shop for like I think it's 1100 lapis for 10 envy base shards and 500 for 5 NVA shards. So like
I mean,
combined with the login rewards, it's like a bit of an extra price, but you
but that's
can
nice.
get
I
it
mean, that
immediately.
should be like 2.2k
It's not the best, but
lapis
it's
for an
okay.
EX plus 1 instead of the 5k lapis that we have to pay right now if you're not, if you're just buying it.
for the shard.
Also,
yeah.
well, I know this doesn't apply to everybody. You can buy fragments with VIP coins, so if you're the kind of person that spends money on the game.
Oh,
you can
but they
usually
also
use
said
those to
we're getting
supplement the ones
VIP
you get
coins
from
in different
boxes.
ways that are not money based as well.
That's true.
I'm betting that'll be for lapis bundles.
It- No, because there's going to be this like monthly fortune hunt thing that'll give some, but we don't have the details of that yet. So we'll see how good that is. I imagine it's going to be quite
I mean,
slow.
the way I look at it, the fragment dungeons are just easier way to get Envy's vision card or
True.
STMR.
That's a
At
good
least
way
that's
of
the way I'm
viewing it, I
thinking
guess.
Yeah. It's really nice for working towards gear and those slow EX2 upgrades, like preparing Gabrat
But then-
for like Asura, etc.
Oh god.
Unfortunately, it does nothing to help with the other issue with getting units to EX plus 1 plus 2, which is pearls.
And I am actually feeling that myself now. With two new... Hey, did I tell you, by the way, that I randomly shittered Riku and Kairi? So anyway...
Did
Everyone
Bharos-
take a drink every time Bharos mentions that, and we'll see if you're still sober by the end of this
See
episode.
if you're still
Bharos, did you
alive.
know that I
Yeah,
pulled
but you
two
spent like
Soras
40k
from Riku and
lapis, so,
Kairi?
you know, get on my level, friend.
I mean, that's still
Yeah,
some
but
pretty
that would on
fucking good-
average only
No,
get me
you
like
did get
2,
lucky.
and I got 4.
Oh, on average gets you 2, does it? I spend 40k and I just get 8 coins
Oh,
to buy
I'm sorry,
a unit.
Dream. Am I rubbing in my free shittering?
Thanks,
I'm
Faisy.
so sorry. That was not at all my intention. I will not mention that I randomly
Yes, it
and
was.
very easily
Yes, it
pulled
was.
Dream,
Kairi.
Barros, please stop rubbing in your shittering in places. It's unhygienic.
Dream, I shall avenge you on the Final
Oh my
Fantasy
god, I
6
just
banner,
can't wait
okay?
not
I
pulling a
shall
Terra and
avenge
being
you.
Bharos, Aerith-less and Terra-less soon. But,
New rule: Bharos is not allowed to rub anything on anyone.
actual
Okay,
content,
moving
back to
on.
actual content, listen. The only way to get pearls right now is 5k bundles and the occasional super rare event stuff, right? I mean, of course, apart from fragmenting your units, right? So,
Yeah.
Yeah, if you shitter tons of dupes, you won't have problems.
Well, you can also buy them with summon coins for most banners, and I think
They're
there's one for
expensive,
VIP
though.
coins.
Yeah, it's like 5 summon
I
coins for
think you really
Sensation
only
Pearl.
do that if you are at 7 coins or something, and you pull another copy, and then you're like, what am I going to do with these coins? I guess I get a pearl
I guess I
and
get
some
a
other
pearl.
stuff.
You pull for an 8 for a guarantee,
yeah, I would
obviously.
say too. Like, if you have 5k more lapis, you just pull one more lap, Jesus.
Yeah. Get 8, buy another unit,
Yeah.
convert them for the pearl.
Yeah, exactly.
Could be, yeah. But like maybe if you pull them
But
on
this
the fifth
does mean that
pull,
as
then you would just
players,
get the
it's
pearl.
starting to become painfully obvious that we need to start saving up some lapis to occasionally buy the 5k pearl bundle. That's what it's actually starting to look like. Because if you're not shittering envy units to the left and to the right, you're not going to have these pearls. I have 1 pearl left now. And yeah, that's it.
It's frustrating because, I mean, we just talked about some of the changes they made to fragments, and it's a step in the right direction, and they're improving things. But even with all these improvements, it's still worse than it was in the 7-star era to get units up to speed, and to pull them and get them upgraded and everything. And it's a lot less fun. And they just use this whole thing as an opportunity to reset things and nerf the rates and the reward of the game
Yeah.
into the ground.
I mean, I think from JP, like, they started out almost even a bit worse than us for free pearls, and then I think everything changed when the 5th anniversary attacked. And they've ballooned quite a lot with free pearls, so hopefully that's, like, not too far away, like, we'll get it relative to same place in the timeline rather than
Yeah,
at our
I mean,
5th
and I
anniversary. Because, yeah, they're, like,
And I absolutely
what they
agree with
cost
you,
right
Muspel,
now.
that I think that, of course, NVs are a excuse to, of course, lower the rates again to make it even more exclusive to obtain these units. But I do hope that this is just a development thing, because we do know that maybe they're not testing and calculating their game in the best way possible always, which is, you know, like, they're probably a group of enthusiasts that just, you know, build a game they like. But we are seeing a trend for the better, and I want to say this exact thing happened in War of the Visions, where it was the same thing, where the rainbow pearls were super rare and you could not get them, and then all of a sudden it started raining pearls because they realized they just made a mistake. So I'm hoping this is going to be the same case, where soon we're going to be getting a reasonable amount of free pearls.
What they really need to do, and I'm not saying this fixes the problem entirely because it doesn't, is they need to give us the same NV rate that JP has, because they have 2.5% on most banners, I think, right?
I think it's just 2%, but yeah, I think that will be very soon. Like, who knows? It might even
I
be
hope
next
so.
week.
Yeah,
Who
1.25% is just way too
Yeah,
low,
it's
especially
really
since that
suffering now.
means your odds of getting an off-banner NV is, like, I don't think I've ever pulled one, and I don't mind not getting off-banner units as long as the on-banner rates are good, but the on-banner rates are trash, and I don't get anything off-banner.
I think one of the things that Aelin mistaken people is that they think that the farming aspect is what people like. So they introduce like, you need to farm MKs, you need to farm this, you need to farm daily dungeons, shard dungeons and stuff, etc. But that's not what we really play the game for. So maybe they have this mistake that we want to farm for stuff to make our units good. So, yeah.
Well, it's all.
But I think that's it for this week's podcast.
Yeah.
So, unless Bharos wanted to say something.
No, let's not give Bharos a chance to say something, okay? Let's just end it here, and Shadow, you can go back to your dungeon. We shall see you again next week.
See you next week for Indie.
Alright, bye guys.
Bye, everyone. Thanks.
Bye.